This is a question that's not meant to be cheeky in any way, but we'd like to ask it for people running for school districts. Why is education so important?
I have grandkids in the district, and education is very important for the future success of our families and our community and our country. We need to be an educated society so we can make good decisions.
Okay. With Initiative 1351 passing to reduce the size of classrooms, how would you like to see the school district in Mose Lake implement the reduction in classroom sizes?
Well, my out-of-the-box idea for this that I don't think anybody has seriously looked at is to do night school. Now, it wouldn't be half the students. It probably would be the 20% approximately that were overcrowded. The argument is always, well, they can't participate in after-school sports. Well, yeah, not all the kids participate in after-school sports. That's a given. So I'm thinking that we could probably find a population of students whose parents work swing shift that would like to have their kids in school while they're at work. And I think it's an idea worth looking at.
Now, the Washington State Supreme Court ruled on the case of McCleary versus the state of Washington that was about the funding of education. How do you feel about that ruling?
I've read the McCleary decision, and the McCleary decision says throwing more money at a broken system won't fix it.
Okay. That's a pretty quick, straightforward answer. If more funding does come down the line, how would you like to see it applied to the Moses Lake School District?
The funding is set pretty much, I mean, how we use it is set pretty much by the legislature. There are some funds available for subsidizing a building project. It has to meet certain parameters, like how much costs per square foot to build the new structure and whatnot, and I'd like to see our district maximize that. It may mean not having quite as architecturally as beautiful a structure as they would like to have, but it can be functional and economical.
Okay. Recently, Mose Lake School District ended the requirement of the senior project. How do you feel about that?
That was actually a friend of mine's daughter wrote the bill as her senior project that went before the legislature to eliminate that requirement. And personally, I think it's a good thing. My daughter really struggled with that. Not that she had a hard time doing the project, but she had a hard time finding a project that qualified. She submitted, I think, 4 different ideas to the teachers, and they kept rejecting them, and she was very frustrated with that. So if you know, a child with supportive family structure and, you know, time and everything has a frustration with that kind of project, imagine what the parents who don't have the time and so forth to participate feel.
Yeah. So with the many different opinions about Common Core in our school systems, how do you feel about Common Core?
I don't like Common Core. I argue with my sister about it all the time. There are some things about Common Core that are not necessarily in the children's best interest. And I don't necessarily think I need to go into detail in this interview, but if anybody wants to talk to me about it, I'd be happy to discuss it.
Would you advocate removal of Common Core or continuance?
I advocate for local control of our schools. Who knows better what our children need for living and thriving in our community and being ready for the jobs in our community than our community. What fits for, you know, a downtown Seattle school district has nothing to do with the kind of jobs that are available for young people coming out of the Moses Lake School District. We have jobs in manufacturing, we have jobs in agriculture. I know that some of our industries here are administering basic skills tests to the students that are coming out of Moses Lake schools, and they're failing. So they're not available for those jobs. I would rather see, if we're going to teach to a test, I would rather see our students being taught to be able to pass the tests that the manufacturers in our area are requiring for jobs, rather than something that is dreamed up by actually the same people who are responsible for the WASL wrote the tests for Common Core. We didn't like WASL. I don't think we're going to like Common Core either.
Okay. Moses Lake at one point had a class for students to learn about home economics in the sense of balancing checkbooks, how credit card works, mortgages and loans. Do you hope to see more emphasis on that type of education for students, or do you think that it's already covered?
Oh, I think we need to have much more emphasis on that. Home economics is not taught in the school as a class like you described anymore. It used to be kind of a basic class that covered cooking basic items and doing basic repairs like sewing on a button and fixing the toilet and, around the home, unclogging the drain, just basic stuff for making your way in the world, and as well as balancing your checkbook and all that stuff. And now, I know that they have a class about balancing your checkbook because my daughter took it. But it was a math class, and they have a class for cooking. It's culinary arts, but if you don't take the class, you don't get the skill. And a general home economics class where most of the students are required to take it, or it's offered as one of the standard classes rather than an elective that you might choose to take, I think it'd be beneficial for our students and their success in life.
Thank you. Now, how much outreach to the community should the school board be conducting?
I think that the school board members should be approachable and listening to people in the community, because they are the guidance for the general direction of the school. I realize that I'm only one vote on a board of 5 people. So my ideas will not make a difference unless I can convince at least 2 other people to go along with me. I think Michelle Price is doing an excellent job. And we are her oversight committee, basically. That's how we are functioning, and that's how school directors function statewide. But I just think new ideas, fresh ideas coming to the table is always good for that approach from a different angle.
Okay. My last question today in our session is one I ask every candidate running for election. Well, I kind of enjoy the responses, so I'm just going to give it to you. Why should people vote for you?
People should vote for me because they want to have new, fresh ideas on the school board.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you, Susan, for your time today and taking the opportunity to answer our questions. Stay tuned with iFiber as we have more episodes covering more of the elections in Grant County. And be sure to watch them all before you vote if you can, please. For iFiber One News, I'm Bill Stevenson.